I'm starting out with spraying my 25 spray on this mannequin head. This is 100% human hair. So I just want to let you all know this is not just synthetic hair. This is actually real human hair. So 25 spray is a great spray if you are a professional, you want to keep your hair nice and moisturized while you're cutting. It's probably, in my opinion, one of the, if not the best, leave-in treatment spray you can get. It transforms your hair night and day, but it gets all the knots out. And I'm using my anti-static vent brush. So two of my favorite things in my lineup as far as in my tools. What I'm looking to do is I'm trying to create a haircut to where a lot of this is going to be probably coming towards the face like this. It's going to be a rounded shape and slightly longer. However, I'm trying to create more layers into here, right? And I want this to be a little bit heavier. So I'm going to reshape this whole thing, and I'm going to do a step-by-step so you can just watch. Or maybe times where I'm going to be kind of silent, times where I'm talking, ranting, going on, you know. I'm going to start with cutting the back. And for these types of haircuts, you know, I like to do a bit more of a free-flowing type of style here. So if you're going into a salon, you know, I would suggest going to a salon for something like this, not necessarily maybe a barber shop, to be honest with you. This is a big-time haircut. So, you know, someone who specializes in layers and cutting wavy hair, curly hair, creating shapes, you know, a specialist, basically. So I'm going to establish my length. And a lot of times what I do is I'll just kind of eyeball it. But for this, I do want to have some length in the back, nothing too crazy. So I'm going to pick a point here, and I'm going to go for about right here as far as the length goes. Now I'm not using any tension, and I'm just cutting straight across. And yes, there are going to be little pieces that we can go back in and cut. But for the most part, I'm just trying to get through this very efficiently. So now again, using no tension and creating and establishing my length throughout the back, just like that. So it didn't take me 5 minutes to cut each section of hair. I just get this out of the way, right? You want to get this out of the way, be efficient, and move through it quickly. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work in through the sides, right in through here, okay? And I'm going to angle this upward. So I'm finding that corner piece right there, and I'm going to be working up the head shape. And I want to match this into this. So I'm going to angle my fingers and point them downwards, and I'm just going to make this connection right in through here. And like I said, I kind of like the length in the front. I may just bring it up slightly, but here is, and you can see the angle I created, right? I'm creating a nice little angle right in through here. Let's comb this down, and there's that corner. We can get rid of that corner right there, just a little bit, and there we have it, right? I'm using, you know, maximum tension. I'm combing everything straight down. Make sure that you get all the hairs behind the ear. You know, I want to have maximum tension here while I'm cutting because I want this to be a solid line, right? I want it to be really, really solid. So here we go in the front. I'm actually going to try to leave some length in the front simply because, as I mentioned, I want this to be layered, but I want it to be a little bit heavier in the front. If you get this cut too short in the front, what's going to happen is it's going to end up being like way too short. And then especially when you get it layered, it's too late. You know, all this is going to spring up. So make sure you have that length in the front. Okay, this side. Now we're going to go on this side. And there's that corner. And I'm going to work the angle going upwards, okay, up the head shape. Working in through the sides. Now I'm trying to cut this where I'm not going to be in front of the camera, blocking it. So, and I apologize about that. So let's go. I'm actually going to work my way downwards this way. There's the length. And once again, I'm making sure I have good, tight tension, and I'm cutting downwards. There it is, right there. So let's double check here, check for balance. Okay, I'm more concerned with the camera angles than I am making sure this is even Steven. And again, I may just be quiet for some of this as I'm trying to focus more on cutting and than the camera angles. Okay, here we go. That's more like it. And what I'm looking for here is I'm just looking to make sure that the shape is balanced. Okay, now we're talking here. And it's always good to double check, to cross check. And I'm just going to show you all what this looks like. Spinning it around. So you want to create that shape where it kind of sweeps down and flares out. That's what we're looking for a good solid shape, okay? Now, since I have that established, and don't skimp out on this. This is really important, cutting the base. The base is probably the most important, because without a good base and your haircut, it's not going to turn out that well. So I'm just going to re-wet this, because before there was not a lot of water in it. This is just going to help with the 25 spray, keep it more activated. Spraying it on dry hair is cool, but you want to make sure that the hair is definitely damp when you're cutting. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the center, the top center of the back of the head, right in through here, and just create like a division point, right? Just separate the hair going, from the front to the back, create a section like this. And again, if you're trying this at home, good luck. Like, I'm a professional, and if you're a professional watching this, then that's awesome. I hope you're going to be learning something. So, first section I'm going to take is right here in the back of the head like this. And I'm probably going to take one or two sections that are going to be like this, and I'm going to create my guide. So, for creating the guide, I try to think, well, how long is the top right into here, like the very, very front? And I try to match that to where it's just slightly longer, if not the same, but slightly longer. So let's cut this to right here. Okay? I'm going to hold my arm down. Hopefully you can see. And we're cutting this straight across. And I'm sorry if that looks weird. I'm just trying to make sure that you all get a good camera angle. And there we go. Straight across, right here, as you can see. Now, I'm going to bring this down, and I'm going to do one side over here, split this across this way, and here we go. There's the guide, and I'm cutting that one section right there. Now I'm going to take another piece right here on the other side to match that up, and I'm going to comb this straight up. And I'm using the fine teeth just because I want to have everything be consistent. And there's one little piece right there that snuck away from us. There it is. So now what I've done is I've created like a section right in through here that I can now work off of when creating these layers. I'm going to raise this a bit here, and this is the part that is really important. Now I'm going to hold everything out from the head. I'm going to hold this vertically. So there's the guide right there, and I'm just going to connect that guide right there. I'm going to connect that. I'm going to work all the way down to the bottom. There's the base. This is all basically weight that needs to be removed right in through here. Go all the way down to the very, very bottom. And just snipping that little bit right there. Let's just push this hair out of the way. And again, as you can see, I'm cutting very efficiently in a sense to where I'm making sure that I can get through this in a decent pace, right? And here's the length. So you want to go as low as you can go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to the next section, and I'm going to work all the way till I'm right behind the ear. So, using the fine teeth, I'm going to comb from the scalp and pull this straight back to me. Hold on to this. Don't let go of that section. That's your guide, right? You need to make sure you have that. And there it is. And let's see if I can get in one more section down throughout the bottom here. And there it is, just a little bit, not much. Okay, next section. Push all this hair out of the way. So now we're working and we're right behind the ear. I'm actually going to comb this hair back this way towards me because I want to protect that weight in through here. Okay, right behind, comb this right straight back, protecting that length. And there you go. Let's see if we can get one more in there. And there it is. So all of this has been combed back to me. And what that's done is you can see it's kept that beautiful shape in through here. Great. Now let's work on to the other side of the head. Push all this hair out of the way because you don't need to go back in time and revisit the past. So we're going to comb straight out from the head, which is where the way the hair grows. Hold on to this, and we're going to cut all the way to the very, very bottom. Sometimes when you cut hair, it's like dodging bullets because the hair will fly out at you and almost hit you in the face or the eyes. One of the hazards of being a hairstylist is you always have to worry about the damn hair flying all over the place. That's something that's happened many, many times over the years. Okay, here we go. Push this hair out of the way. So we have a nice section right here. And I'm using the fine teeth of the comb, combing this straight back. There's my guide. And I'm cutting vertically. Okay, let's get all the way down as low as we possibly can without cutting the length. But notice how we're getting all of that hair, right? All of that hair, because that is the weight on top of that. So now I'm going to comb all the way back using the fine teeth. Wait for it. There's the guide right there. Cutting on top of that, all the way in the very, very bottom. There is that one little piece right there. And then lastly, let's go all the way down to the very, very, very bottom. And let's see if we have any more pieces. Right in there. That's it. Okay. Now, we have created and established our shape, which we still are working on. What I want to do now, just to cross-check this and add a little more kind of flair to it and create a bit more movement, so it's going to help with the wave, is I'm going to hold everything out from the head horizontally. And this is also a good way to cross-check. It's a great way to cross-check to make sure that you're even Steven and you're well balanced. So throughout the entire back of the head, even though I cut this vertically, I'm just going to go and cut this on a horizontal angle, which will then help also alleviate some extra weight as well. And the reason I'm doing this, and I learned this like years ago, is by cutting this horizontal, you're actually creating even more of a layered shape to remove weight to allow for it to, flip up or wave or have more curl. And this is 100% straight hair, keep in mind, right? So it's 100% straight hair. And, what that means is that, like, we can only do so much, right, for it to curl, and so we're relying a lot on the haircut itself to do a lot of the work. So I'm just pulling this out to the very, very ends here, not going too crazy. And don't forget, we left some of that weight in through here, which we'll remove. But you can see what's happening as I do that. It's creating much more of a looser texture into the back here. Especially if somebody's looking for like that old school Matthew McConaughey look, or, you want to have a bit more curl or a bit more wave to it, then this is definitely the way to go. Right, now, what we're going to do is connect the top into the back. And this is the method that I use, is I'm going to go right here where I last cut the top. You're going to see it. There it is. There is the guide. And we're going to go straight across, vertically. I'm cutting straight across vertically to make that connection. All of this was already cut. So we're working our way towards the front. Working our way towards the front, as you can see. Then let's do one more section on the other side. And I like to think of this as, and I've said this a million times when I cut hair, is when you're cutting, you've got the top, the top, the corners, and the sides. So what that means, it looks like the top, corners, and sides. So now that we've cut the top connection in the back, let's go all the way now to the front. And this is where I'm going to hold everything straight up vertically. And there we go. Once again, hair just flew at my eye. It's like dodging bullets, like I mentioned. Okay, there it is. And we're going to cut straight across. We're going to work all the way towards the front. And I mentioned I want to keep a little more weight into the front. So I'm going to slightly over direct back. And here we are in the very, very front. And I'm just staying within the parameters of this. So there is not much hair coming off that way in the front, but we're going to go back and cross-check that in a little bit. Now it's time for the corners. So here we go. Comb this down. Going to pull this straight out from the head the way it grows, and I'm going to cut this way. So it's cutting out from the head. Next section. And I always like to work from the back of the head towards the front. Next section. And now it's just literally like following a pattern, right? Following a guide, following a pattern. And here we go, right here. Okay, all the way in the front. There it is. So we can go back and remove some of that weight later on. Okay, now we have the sides. So remember, I said it's the top, corners, and sides. So how do we do the sides? Well, this is where we're actually going to see that weight. The weight that we left. Here it is. Let's see it. Okay, let's see the weight. And because we left it protected, it's still there. Good thing. So we're going to comb this all straight out. Let that drop out, and here are the sides, right? This is the official side, and this is where I like to show you what it really looks like to connect a haircut, okay? I'm connecting every single piece. I'm not holding this up to the sky and raising my arms and elbows. No, I'm actually cutting this piece by piece, section by section, all the way down to where the base drops out. There it is. We're protected. And there we go. We're not creating any holes, any sort of weird, sections, or I'm not standing, doing a headstand trying to cut this. And all the way down to the bottom. Use the fine teeth. There's the bottom right there, just that little bit. Always protect the base. Really important. Okay, here we go. Just in that little front right there. Let's over direct this back slightly. And there it is. Now what I'm going to do on this side while I'm here is I'm actually going to cross-check this diagonally first. Okay, there's that. That looks good. That looks good right there. I'm literally just taking a diagonal section and holding it up and following the same pattern like I did to the back, where now I'm horizontally cutting, right? Like a horizontal diagonal. Remember the back, we basically held everything up like this, and there's a little bit of that weight right there. So let's bring this up. Look for that weight a little bit. Let's remove that right there. Here we go. And yeah, there it is. Just check this. Beautiful. Awesome. So now we've created kind of like a really nice shape right in through here. You can see that. Look how nice that looks. All right, this side. Don't forget, we still have this other side to do. We're going to do the corner right in through here. We lower this slightly. Okay, here's the corner. Pulling it straight out. And you can see it. The corner is literally right there for you to see. And hold on, what is this? Oh, stupid. How many times a day do you get hit with like these stupid spam emails or these like scammer, loan emails or this? It's so annoying. And that people, we all fall victim to it at one point, of these stupid scammers that somehow it's like, how'd you even get my phone number? Right? Okay, the corner is done there. Now it's time for the side. I'm going to go all the way down, right in through here. There it is. There's all that hair right there. This is the weight that was left for us to remove this way. Okay, push this out of the way. Let's go on the true side. This is the true sides right here. There it is, all the way down to the bottom. And you're not cutting, remember, you're not going to cut the actual base. You're going to cut right above it, which is right there. That base is the length. You don't want to ever cut that, because then you're going to be in trouble. All sorts of holes and weird things in a haircut. You don't want that. I learned that years ago. Protect the base of the haircut at all times. Okay. All right. There's that. We're working our way forwards. And let's see here. And like this becomes pretty repetitive because I'm following a pattern, right? Following a pattern is really, really, really important when it comes to haircutting, because that pattern is going to help keep you very, 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 very consistent. Okay, here we go. Okay. All right. Now what I'm going to do is, like I did on the other side, let's comb this and cut this on a vertical, kind of diagonal. And let's see what we got as far as the weight goes and stuff like that. Let's bring this down in through here. Make that connection right there. Not a whole lot needs to come off. But I'm also going based off of feel too, because if this feels like it needs to be cut, then I'm going to cut it in certain areas, right? So once again, here we go. There's really not a lot there that needs to be cut. Good, looking good there. Looking good there. Yeah, and it looks like we're looking pretty good. Let's do one last piece right here. That looks good there. And this is the difference of being like really thorough, right? I'm doing a full haircut. If I was working on a client, I'd probably end up taking a little bit longer because I'd be talking with them a lot more, interacting, socializing, all that kind of stuff. This is obviously for tutorial purposes, but I'm trying to grind through this as fast as I can. All right. The most important part of this whole thing is right here. So this is the front of the head. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to comb this all straight down, and I'm going to comb this out from the head. And I'm looking for, yes, I did mention I want this to be a little bit heavier in the front, but I'm just looking for a solid connection, right? I don't want to have pieces that are like a ton longer in the front here. I just really am looking for balance right now, because the more balanced and the better the shape is going to be overall. Okay, there is pieces right there. Slightly longer. This also helps with the blending, right? The blending of this whole thing. Makes sure that you are even Steven. Okay, now I'm going to the other side. And yes, there may be times where you're like, wow, this is like a whole inch and a half longer. Well, this is how you fix it. You know, you look for these mistakes, you look for these issues, you look for these, you know, troubleshooting areas, and that's it. I mean, it really comes down to that. Like, that's why being this thorough, imagine how your haircut is going to grow out. You know, that's why my haircuts are much more of a premium price, because of the results and what I put into it. So here we go. Let's turn the head and let's take a look at what we have. Let's just raise this up a little bit. Okay. So here is what we are working with. Now, the shape that I'm going for is kind of like a curly, somewhat wavy shape like this with a lot of texture. Okay, beautiful. This haircut looks phenomenal. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry this, but before I dry it, tidal wave. You have to use tidal wave. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't need a whole lot. 6, 7. You know, 8 sprays. It's because there's a lot of hair, and I want to have that texture. So I'm going to get my blow dryer with my diffuser, and we're going to blow dry it. Okay, take a look at how amazing this looks. This is just, you know, really just the blow drying and no actual finished products. But this is something where I think it's came out really awesome. This is a great look, great shape. I'm gonna run my fingers through this just to kind of expand all this out. Now you can go back in and you can use a little bit of the tidal wave if you want. Maybe, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 more spritzes of the tidal wave, nothing crazy, and just give it a good scrunch like this. And it's gonna help, you know, really bring out that shape. Man, I think this is pretty awesome, man, to be honest with you. Cool, and if you want, you can use Locked XL. This is my updated final version of the Locked XL hairspray, the best smelling hairspray ever. And you're gonna spray it from a little bit of a distance away. It does have a little more hold, right? A little more hold than my regular Locked hairspray. But this is really gonna help with defrizzing. It's gonna help with keeping everything kind of locked in place. That's why it's Locked XL. There, you can see everything is kind of coming together now a bit more. awesome, man. I think this looks friggin' awesome. And again, this is done on perfectly straight hair, right? Perfectly straight hair. And I was able to enhance these, waves and curls just simply by my blow drying method and styling techniques. So let's see here. And once again, I'm trying to really make the camera, do this all for the camera, so it has a good kind of shape. And if you want, you can bring the fringe up slightly like this, but you don't want to cut the fringe too short. Trust me. You want to keep this somewhat in this area. So is this a wolf cut? I don't know. Maybe. It is what you want to call it. But let's break down the back once again. You can see a nice, fully rounded shape, which I think looks awesome. Everything is layered. Let's go around this way. You can see we've got that shape right coming down through here. We were able to maintain and keep that nice solid angle right in through here, working all the way up towards the face. There it is. Working around this way. There's the angle right in the front. And you could even push this aside like that if you want to, Whoa, sorry, there we go. You can push this fringe aside, make a little bit of like a little opening right there if you want to, okay? Working around the other side, as you can see, kept that nice shape right in through here, that strong baseline. There it is. And, used my diffuser, used my, 25 spray to start when it was damp. I combed through using my anti-static vent brush right here, all available, shop.thesalonguy.com. Use my tidal wave. You need tidal wave to get that texture when you spray it. And I finished off with my locked hairspray, locked XL hairspray. Then I used my ionic blow dryer, which comes with the magnetic diffuser. You need a diffuser to get this style. It also comes with a nozzle too. So really important that you utilize these. And then here it is, the finished result. I think this came out friggin' awesome, man. And you don't have to, you can let it air dry. A whole bunch of stuff, but it's really more about the haircut. So use code YouTube20, that's YouTube20 at shop.thesalonguy.com. Let me know if you enjoyed this, because I enjoyed making this haircut for you, and if you like these longer videos. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon.